and welcome back to Mr. Scullin's Music Room, the ukulele journey. That's what I'm going to call it, it's the journey. And this is the second video. So the last video, if you watched it, the first one, it's basics. We've learnt all the names and the bits and bobs of the ukulele. Hopefully you can remember them. Have a little go. Pause the video if you want to just check if you remember all the bits and bobs. But today we're going to look at making a sound, making a nice sound of our ukuleles. And we're going to talk about chords. Alright, now the definition of a chord, in other words, what a chord is when you play more than one note at the same time. So whatever instrument you're choosing to play, whether it's a guitar or a piano, if you play more than one note at the same time, it is a chord. So we play chords on our ukuleles. When you play more than one string at the same time, because the strings are tuned to different notes. So this first chord that we are going to play is a C chord. Now if I played that string on its own, that would be a C note. But when I play more than one string, it's a C chord, because those notes combined result in a chord. I think I've made the point. So, if you remember rightly, fingers and a thumb, 4 fingers, 1 thumb. So the thumb goes behind the neck of our ukulele. I'll go a little bit closer for this. So it goes behind the neck of our ukulele. We push against it so that we get a nice clear sound. We are going to hold down a string, a certain string on a certain fret. So we're going to find the A string. So if you remember what our strings are called, green cats eat ants, G, C, E, A. So that's our A string. So that's the lowest string, the one nearest to your feet. And we're going to find the 3rd fret on the A string. So we're going to go 1, 2, 3. Okay, so it's that little section there. So we go from the nut, there's our nut, fret 1, fret 2, fret 3. Now you may have noticed I just used different fingers to touch the different frets, and I've ended up using my 3rd finger to hold down the 3rd fret. And whilst we're at that end of the neck of the ukulele, if you use that as a basic rule, if you're playing notes on their own, match your finger to the fret. So if it's the 1st fret, 1st finger, 2nd fret, 2nd finger, 3rd fret, you get the point. So we're going to find this A string on the 3rd fret. Now if you look, when I hold my, it's a good angle, when I hold down the ukulele, the string, okay, my finger is arched. I'm making a little kind of tunnel shape, right? Now, it's really important to arch your finger because then you get a nice bit of clear contact, and I'm holding it down with my fingertips. So it's that bit just below, look, I see that line I was talking about, there you go. So just between, underneath your nail, just before you get to the main bit of your finger, that's where you're aiming for, all right? You put that bit of your finger on the string, squeeze nice and hard. It may feel a bit uncomfortable, but just bear with me for a second, okay? And then we get our thumb or our fingernails, and we're gonna strum our C chord. So let's give it a go. Let's do 4 strums, ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, okay? You can try it. Good. And as you get used to playing that chord, experiment with your thumb. You see it's a bit of a softer sound with your fingernails. Okay? And that's our first chord. And it's a really straightforward chord. 3rd finger, 3rd fret on the A string. Squeeze it down. Got a C. Well done. Now we can move our fingers around. So if I go this way, I go from a C to a B, and that's a B flat, that note there. Okay, but if I use my 1st finger on the 1st fret of the A string, this is, the chord is C7, all right? So that's our C, C7. And you may want to try changing between the two. If you look, I'm using my 1st finger on the 1st fret, 3rd finger on the 3rd fret. And it's really important to use different fingers, because once you learn a few more chords, you'll realise that to change chords, you need your right fingers in the right place. So try and stick to these rules. Try not to use your 1st finger on the 3rd fret, okay, or your 2nd finger on the 1st fret. Try and stick to those rules. 3rd finger, 3rd fret, 1st finger, 1st fret. And just have a go, switching between the two, until it's nice and smooth. Well done, guys. Keep going.